Hey everyone, Robert here. So today I'm going to be talking to you about Mayael the Anima, my first commander deck. Now I built this back when she was still a fairly new card. However, the deck has changed a lot from its original version. The original version was more focused on the 5 or greater theme that the Alara block had gave, and now not so much. So the first thing you'll notice about this card is big crease right down there. I'm currently looking into getting another one. A friend of mine, his kid, a few years back had gotten a hold of this and bent my poor Mayael. So yeah. Anyways, let's get in it. Red, green, white, 2/3. You can pay 3 or red or green or white. Tap, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature card with power 5 or greater from among them into play. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So we're wanting to get a lot of fatties into play real quick off of her ability. So I'm just going to start with the mana base and get that out of the way. Temple of Plenty, Scryland, New Benelia, Scryland, Lawn War Reborn, Graft Land. Grove of the Guardian gives us an 8/8 by tapping 2 creatures and sacrificing it. 1 Arena makes 2 creatures fight, one of our choice and the other of our opponent's choice. Cavity Township, pay 4 tap, 1/1 counter on the team. Kessig Wolf Run, pay X, a red and a green, tap, target creature gets +X/+0 and trample until end of turn. Scavenging Ground, get rid of graveyards. Dread Sanctuary, mana land. Raging Ravine, mana land. Croson Verge, fetch, lets us get a forest and a plain, which it doesn't say basic, so we can get any forest or plain, well, and. Windswept Heath, Naya Panorama, Sunpetal Grove, Cinderglade, Canopy Vista, Horizon Canopy, Grove of the Burn Willows, Temple Garden, Sacred Foundry, all 3 Vivids, because they're any color, which most of the time I don't use them. They probably should come out. But there have been a few occasions where I actually had to use the charge counters to get 1 mana of any color. And Jungle Shrine, all 3 colors we need. For our basics, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 forests, 1, 2, 3, 4 mountains, 1, 2, 3, 4 plains. So 14 basics. That's quite a few basics in here. Mana Ramp, Hour of Promise. Lets us search up 2 lands, any 2 lands, put them in play. We don't have any well, how many deserts do we have? I ain't never even paid attention to that. You need 3 or more deserts. I don't think we have 3 deserts. We've got just the Scavenging Ground. So no, not 3 deserts. We're never going to get zombies, but we get 2 lands, whatever we want. Harrow lets you sack a land to search for 2, and the lands don't come into play tap. Farseek, search for anything but a forest. Cultivate, search for 2, put 1 into play, 1 in your hand. Growth Spasm, 1 into play, and an 0/1 Eldrazi spawn token that sacks for a colorless mana. Our permanent based ramp, Xenagos the Reveler. Most of the time we're just going to +1 to add a bunch of red and green mana. You can get chump blockers, and I've never ultimated him. I don't ever really plan on ultimating him, although it would be nice. But the +1 is what we're mainly interested in. Drum Hunter, we have a lot of fatties, so every turn, at the end of our turn, if we control a creature power 5 or greater, we get to draw a card. He taps for a colorless mana. Gyre Sage, evolve, tap, add 1 green to your mana pool for each 1/1 counter on it. Selvala, Heart of the Wild, 3 mana, 2/3. Whenever a creature enters a battlefield, if it has the greatest power, draw a card. You can pay a green tap, add X mana, and any combination of colors to your mana pool, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Sad Robot, Nightvine Mystic, pay 1 tap, get Naya. Oracle of Moldiah lets us play extra lands and lets us play with the top card of our deck revealed, and we can play lands from the top. Druid of the Anima, 1 mana of the colors that we're using, and 1 Bird of Paradise. Go into our tutors. Congregation at Dawn, double green, white. Search your library for up to 3 creatures, reveal them, shuffle your library, and put those cards on top in any order. So with Mayael, we pretty much just search for the one we want and we get to play it with her. Signal the clans, search the library for 3 creature cards, reveal them. If you reveal 3 cards with different names, we're commander, they're always going to be different names. Choose one of them at random. Put that card in your hand, shuffle the rest into your library. Summoner's Pact. 0 mana, search for a green creature, reveal it, put it into your hand. Beginning of your next upkeep, pay 4 unless you want to lose the game. Court of Calling, Convoke, lets us search for a creature with mana cost extra less and put it on the battlefield. And a Worldly Tutor. Again, 1 mana, search for a creature, put it on top. Boom. Get to play it for free. There's a few other things with the top card manipulation that we've got going on where we can look at the top card and we can set up our top card. There's a few other ways aside from Mayael that we have of cheating these things into play off the top. Removal. I'm not really playing a lot of removal. Swords, Plowshare, Oblivion Ring. Probably should. However, this deck is what I will use a lot of times to introduce newer players to Commander with. Because, yeah, you might say I'm mean when you look at the creatures. However, it is a fair Commander deck. There's not really too many crazy combos or anything like that. It's a lot of things that can be dealt with instead of me just going infinite and killing them whenever I so please. 1 Sword of Feast and Famine. There's no way to tutor this up. I have no way to search for the Sword of Feast and Famine. There is an infinite combo with it. That was messed up, me just saying that. I just remembered it. 1 infinite combo with this. However, I do not have a way to tutor up the sword specifically for that. So if I draw into the combo, then yeah, that's cool, and I get to show somebody something neat. However, I can't just search for it. I have to naturally draw it. And there's always a chance with some of the other cards that I want to get in play that I could just scoot this to the bottom of my deck and never see it for the rest of the game. Alright, Abundance. 4 mana enchantment. If you would draw a card, you may instead choose land or non-land. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card of the chosen kind. Put that card in your hand. All other cards revealed this way on the bottom in any order. So this card goes really great with Sylvan Library. 2 mana. At the beginning of your draw step, you may draw 2 additional cards. If you do, choose 2 cards in your hand drawn this way. For each of those cards, pay 4 life or put that card on top of your library. So, with Abundance and with Sylvan Library, you still get your 3 cards, but you don't lose life because Sylvan Library specifically says cards drawn this way. So you have to draw the cards. With Abundance, what we're doing is we're going to select to draw the 2 cards. And then instead of drawing, we're going to choose land or non-land and get what we need and put it into our hand, not draw the cards. So we're still getting 3 cards a turn if we've got both of these in play, in which, like I said earlier, there's no way to search for either one of these. You have to naturally draw these 2 to get that nice little synergy. Cream of the Crop. So this is one of the biggest cards. This card is just ridiculous in this deck. 2 mana, whenever a creature comes into play under your control, you can look at the top X cards of your library, where X is that creature's power. If you do, put one of those cards on top of your library and the rest on bottom in any order. So we have a 5/5 coming to play. We get to look at the top 5, put 1 on top, the rest on bottom. We have an 8/8 coming to play. We get to look at the top 8, put 1 of those on top and the rest on bottom, which really helps us with that top card manipulation. This card can easily swing a game in your favor. Greater Good, sacrifice creature, draw cards equal to its power, then discard 3 cards. Vizier of the Menagerie. 4 mana, you can look at the top card of your library. You may cast it if it's a creature. You may spend mana as though it were any type to cast creature spells. So again, another way for us to manipulate or to play things that we've manipulated to the top of our deck. Rishkar's Expertise, 6 mana, draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control, then you can cast a card with mana cost 5 or less from among them without paying their mana cost. Did I already go over these? No, I did not. These are my cheater cards. Natural Order, sack a green creature, search for a green creature, put it into play. Call of the Wild, another way we can cast the top card of our libraries after we've manipulated it, 4 mana. Pay 4 to activate, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature, put it into play. Otherwise, put it into your graveyard. It's always going to be a creature. Quicksilver Amulet, because we are playing a lot of fatties. And a lot of times we'll get stuff in our hand that we want to get into play, so this helps us get those out as well. Pay 4, tap it, put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield. Elvish Piper, same as the amulet, except we pay 1 green to put it into play. Champion of Ronos, when it attacks, you can exert it. If you do, you put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield. See the Unwritten, 6 mana, reveal the top 8 cards of your library. You can put a creature from among them onto the battlefield, the rest in your graveyard. If you control the creature power 4 or greater, you can put 2 creatures on the battlefield instead. And Summoning Trap. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a creature from among them onto the battlefield, the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And it's an instant, so you can sneak something out to block. At the top half of the card, most of the time not too relevant, but it could be relevant. If they counter a creature you cast, you can pay this or cast this for 0. So it's a nice added bonus, but even without that, I'd still play it 6 mana to get something off the top of my deck. And for the final part of our deck, the fatties. Grook's Horde, 7 mana, 7/7 trample, play with the top card revealed. You may cast the top card of your library if it's a creature. Thundermaw Hellkite, 5/5 flying haste. Enters battlefield, 1 damage to each creature your opponent control with flying. Tap those creatures. Rampaging Baloth, 6 mana, 6/6 trample, landfall, get a 4/4 beast. God's Ire, 8 mana, 8/8 vigilance, tap to poop 8/8 tokens. Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight, 7 mana, 5/5 flying, first strike, double your damage, half their damage. That's pretty nice. Iona, Shield of Emeria, 9 mana, 7/7. When enters battlefield, choose a color. Your opponents can't cast spells of the chosen color. So this is one, against a new player, I would always pass this up. Against experienced players, I would always play this and name the color that's going to hurt them the most. But newer players, I don't want to be mean. This is one, if it was top card, like say, if it was in my hand, I probably wouldn't Piper it into play. If it was on the top, I would probably use Cream of the Crop to put it on bottom, etc. You know, just so that I didn't make the game unfun for them. I can't say his name. Palialoth. 6 mana, 5/5. Whenever creature 5 or greater comes into play, I can return a creature from my graveyard to my hand. Green Warden of Marasa. Double Eternal Witness. Armada Worm, 5/5. That gives you a 5/5, both of which have trample. Spellbreaker Behemoth, 4 mana, 5/5, can't be countered, and 5 or greaters we control can't be countered. Megalanoth, 6 mana, 6/6 vigilance trample. Whenever he blocks a creature, Megalanoth deals damage to that creature's controller equal to Megalanoth's power. Craterhoof, our overrun of choice. Archetype of Endurance, our stuff has hexproof, our opponents can't. Scourge of the Throne, dethrone whenever it attacks a player. Whenever it attacks for the first time, if it attacks the player with the most life total or tied for the most, untap all creatures at an additional combat step. Hellkite Charger, so the infinite combo I was talking about, with Sword of Feast and Famine in him, when he attacks you can pay 7. If you do, untap all attacking creatures, there's an additional combat step. Well, if this is equipped to him, when he deals damage, it untaps all our lands. So as long as we have 7 mana, we take infinite combat steps. Soul of New Phyrexia, which is probably going to come out for an Avacyn. I mean, it does make everything indestructible, but Avacyn does a better job at that. Combustible Gearhulk, just because I really like the card. I mean, he does a lot of good things. In this deck specifically, he could almost kill people. Assuming they didn't gain life, he can almost kill you. Omnath, Locus of Rage, landfall, get a 5/5. Whenever an elemental dies, or him, deal 3 damage to a creature or player. Exquisite Archangel, if we would lose the game, instead exile this. Our life total becomes equal to our starting, so back to 40. Wormcoil, Worldspawn Worm, when it dies, get 3 5/5s and shuffle him back in. Spiritbreaker Behemoth, makes all 5 or greaters indestructible. Vigor, Zakama, Xenagos, God of Rebels, and Inferno Titan. And that is my Mayael. I hope you liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.